As someone who has worked full time in the Amazon FBA private label space for years and has worked with over 1,400 students, today I'm going to go over the most commonly asked questions and all of my answers. So I hope you find this video helpful and let's get into it. So is it too late to start selling on Amazon? Is selling on Amazon oversaturated? And the answer is no. Almost 50% of all product searches start on Amazon.com, and they are the leading platform for all of e-commerce sales. So with that being said, it is not too late to start selling on Amazon because Amazon is dominating the e-commerce space. Now, what it comes down to is making sure you follow all these steps correctly. So you need to make sure your product selection is on point, you are adding value to that product selection, you are sourcing a high quality product, you are creating a strong listing, and you have a pay-per-click ad strategy. So it's not too late to start selling on Amazon, and over 89% of Amazon sellers are profitable. That is huge. So as long as you know what to do, you will be okay. It's just people who go into this business blind, that's the only time they're really gonna fail, is if they don't have that proper education and foundation in place to make correct business decisions for success. So how much money does it cost to get started selling on Amazon? So I would say a large percentage of Amazon FBA private label sellers spend around $5,000 or less to get up and running. Now, I will say I did see a statistic where 25% or less of Amazon sellers spend less than $1,000, but I will say a $1,000 budget is extremely tight. Like, especially if you're doing high quality photography, that could just cover your images and graphic design work. So it's going to be a really tight budget. Not only that, if you're doing a trademark, that can cost up to $1,000. So it's difficult to work with $1,000, but if you have around $5,000, you will be good to go. Next, how long does it take to get up to product launch? So most sellers can get up to product launch in as little as 3 to 6 months. So in comparison to other business routes, Amazon FBA private label is probably one of the quicker business routes where you can get up to product launch. So do you have to have an LLC in order to start selling on Amazon? So the short answer is no, it is not a requirement. However, I highly recommend creating an LLC so you can have protection over your personal finances and assets. If you do not have a business structure in place, which is normally an LLC for most Amazon sellers, that means if anything goes wrong with your business and you happen to go through a lawsuit, they can come after your personal assets because you do not have a business structure in place. If you do have an LLC, all they can come after is your business assets and finances. So you really want to have that protection just in case anything goes wrong. Not only that, you're going to want to have that strong foundation for success. So if you do have an LLC, EIN, business bank account, especially if you plan on taking this route seriously and growing and scaling your business, you are going to want to have that strong foundation for your business and not have to do it later on down the line. So especially if you plan on doing Amazon brand registry and trademarking your brand, you normally have to have a business tied to it, or it kind of makes it difficult. So I just recommend getting an LLC from the very beginning, and it is not that difficult to do. Just go to your Secretary of State website, follow the steps, go to the IRS website, open up EIN, and then if you want to do business banking, just go to your local bank. Next, do you need an Amazon FBA private label research tool? And if so, which tool do I recommend? So yes, you do have to purchase a research tool. There is no way around it if you want to find success. You use this tool for product research, keyword research, listing optimization, profit analytics, inventory management, you're running your pay-per-click ads. Like, this is going to be your all-in-one research tool, and you especially need it. Like, the most important time to use this tool is getting up to product launch. The tool I use is Helium 10, and I do have a 20% off 6-month code down below. So you can get started within that first 6 months using that code, and then you can decide if you want to continue using Helium 10 for the management aspect and the growth aspect. So how do you decide on a product to sell on Amazon? No matter where you are at in this process, if you have a product idea in mind or you have no product ideas in mind, you have to be researching this product using Helium 10 on Amazon.com. And that is how you do product research and competitor research to make sure the product you are selling has opportunity. The last thing you want to do is sell a product that is super high demand, super oversaturated, to where even if you add value, it's not going to stand out from the top listings. If your top competitors have 50,000 reviews all on page 1, it is going to be extremely difficult to get your product on page 1 or 2. So you really need to understand what to look for, and you need to validate that product idea using Helium 10 before you move forward with selling on Amazon. And how many units should you order for your first inventory order? So you should always start with a test order and never ever send more than 500 units. But I recommend starting with like 150 to 250 units, and then you can work your way up with your profits. If you start with too big of an inventory order when you're first launching, it does take time for your inventory to get traction and your listing to get traction. So you're going to be increasing your storage fees if you're starting with a large inventory order. So stick with the test order and then work your way up with your profits based on your sales velocity. So how do you find long-term suppliers to work with for your Amazon FBA private label business? I will say most Amazon sellers do use Alibaba, which is basically like the Amazon of finding suppliers, trade companies, manufacturers, etc. You can find suppliers no matter where you are. If you want to find someone in the US, great. It's just not as easy to find these manufacturers as it is on Alibaba, and Alibaba does tend to be cheaper. So that's how most Amazon sellers source their products in bulk. But you have to make sure you are looking for suppliers that have the correct certifications. Make sure you have Alibaba trade assurance, they're a verified seller, they have great communication, many years of experience, etc. Next, how do you create a strong Amazon listing? So number one is keyword research using Helium 10. My favorite keyword research tool is their Cerebro tool. So you grab your top competitors, use the filters, and you can see all of the keywords they are ranking for organically. So you just make a list of all the keywords you want to use inside your listing, then use Helium 10's listing builder to actually write out your copywriting with those keywords. The more keywords you are using, the more doors you are opening for customers to come in, see your listing, and purchase your product. You also have to make sure you have high quality images. This is the most important part of your Amazon listing, outside of pricing, outside of keywords, and outside of reviews. So you need to make sure you have your main image on a white background, and then you have a mix of lifestyle images and infographics with graphic design work to sell your product. Like each and every image Amazon customers are looking at, it should be selling your product in a different way. And you should be doing competitor research, making a list of everything they are highlighting and using that when you are creating your own images. Next, how do you find someone to assist with private label branding? So your logo, your packaging, your photography, etc. So the easiest way to do this, you can find anyone to fit your budget on Fiverr or Upwork, or you can do it yourself using Canva and other editing software. So choose whatever route's best for you. Next, how do you send your inventory from your supplier's warehouse to Amazon's warehouse? So all you have to do is create a shipping plan within Amazon Seller Central, and they are going to give you shipping warehouse addresses and shipping labels. So you just send that to your supplier, and then you can get shipping quotes from their freight forwarder and or your own freight forwarders. And then from there, you just schedule the pickup, and then the freight forwarder will bring it from your supplier's warehouse to Amazon. So should you send your inventory via air or sea? So this is totally up to you. Sea shipping is going to be 3 times cheaper than air, but it's going to take 3 times longer than air. So normally if you're sending all of your inventory via air, you can get your inventory to Amazon in as little as 10 days. If you're doing it via sea, it can take 30, 35 days or longer. So the timing's the biggest difference, and then the cost is the biggest difference. So if it's your first inventory order, you can totally get away with all sea. Just be okay to wait, a few extra days versus air. Now, once you get up to product launch, how can you learn Amazon pay-per-click advertising? So there's no one-size-fits-all approach to Amazon PPC. There's so many different strategies, so it kind of just depends on your budget, your goals, etc. So I highly recommend taking Helium 10's Amazon PPC Academy, and it's for intermediate to advanced sellers. So if you take this course in combination with their Freedom Ticket course, which is a course teaching people how to get started with their Amazon FBA private label business, those two together are going to be a lifesaver for you, and they're going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars. So you don't have to pay for someone else's course and mentorship program that influencers are making. And I do have a free 6-month guide and to-do list with discounts, resources, and all the steps to get started with selling on Amazon. So I have that in the description if you want to check it out. Next, how long does it take to start seeing results? So if you do everything to a T, you do everything perfectly, amazing product quality, a strong listing that stands out from your top competitors, and you are running Amazon PPC with an optimal strategy, you should start seeing success the second you launch your Amazon ads. And the more you optimize those ads, the more organic sales you are going to get. So that is why education and a strong foundation and really focusing all your time and energy and money in the startup and launch process is really going to make or break your business. So if you do everything correctly, you should start seeing results instantly. And then it should take maybe a month or 2 or 3, maybe, to get all of your investment back so you can become profitable. And if y'all have more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I can do a part 2 to this video. But I would say that covers pretty much like the most common questions I get asked as an Amazon seller.